Good morning, friends. Welcome to Heartful Living. This is February 7th, Heart Month. I'm so happy that we are all joining today and discussing the importance of exercise in helping our health and our happiness. Good evening to our friends in India, Malaysia. Vanakkam. So nice that people are joining us from all over. So despite the pandemic keeping us in our own spaces, I feel so much more connected to everybody through these sessions. So we'll first open it up to people who've been with us in the last few weeks, trying to learn what this heartful living way of life is. Have you tried something outside your routine? Last week when we met, we asked people to try writing with your left hand, maybe. Trying something different that you don't typically do. It doesn't have to be very physically challenging. It can be something outside your routine, outside the box like thinking. So if anyone wishes to share what you're trying to do in the last few weeks, this is the chance. Please unmute yourself and share what your new adventures are.
I will share that I checked out your book from the library and found it helpful, and that I have learned that it's okay to actually eat little enough that I am genuinely empty stomached and hungry before the next meal. And I will add to that I think in the 90s, we all got a lot of bad information that we needed to eat these big amounts of carbs, which a friend of mine told me in all seriousness that you burn up half the calories of the carbs just digesting them, which I don't think that's true at all. I don't think that it takes that much energy to digest popcorn, but that was the thinking at the time, that you could eat these big loads of carbs and it provided energy and you'd feel so great. So I had that wrong idea. And then I think from some of my friends who were struggling with diabetes, I had the idea that you had to eat throughout the day, do what we think of now as snacking, but a friend of mine was saying eat 5 or 6 small meals a day, and I never figured out how to eat a small meal. So I was eating throughout the day, always feeling like I needed to keep my stomach full, and that's just wrong. It's just wrong. So I appreciate your emphasis on not being afraid to actually get hungry. That's good.
Lisa, you said you read our book, Seeking Hunger, correct?
Yes, it is
Thanks.
available through the Columbia Public Library.
Thanks so much, Lisa, for reading the book and then exploring these simple, intuitive ways. And then whatever you spoke in the last few minutes, we recorded it. I think we are all fine for signing off and meeting February 14th. Because what she said in the last 2 minutes is so direct, simple, and goes to the heart. Thanks so much, Lisa.
Thank you.
The most important thing you shared is, I'm going to tell you 2 things. Because we are able to see your video, you were smiling throughout those 2 minutes. And you were smiling when you're talking about being hungry. So I have to, I cannot thank you enough for that message. Not only the words you said,
when I'm hungry.
not only your words, but also that smile and that confidence with which you're able to connect with being hungry. See, whatever I write is my own words. It might be in a book or whatever form. But what you described is your own personal, direct experience of life. Thanks so much. So I'm just like Lisa, continuing in that path where I will continue to stay hungry as long as I'm alive. Today morning, I woke up really hungry and I was very grateful that I'm hungry and my body is telling me, Anand, you're here only 15, 20 minutes, you have to leave. So grab some food, at least grab an avocado. And I said, I'm going to meet some friends at 9 o'clock. Let me go hungry. So I had 2.5 glasses instead of 1.5, 2 glasses, extra 1 glass of water, and I'm here and I'm doing great. I'm going to do a lot of things today before I go home, but food is the last, and it's going to be the most fun thing, but it'll come in the evening. Thanks, Lisa. We'll open it up for some more people to share their thoughts before Willie. Before we leave, we want others to share their thoughts.
I think drinking water is has been really helpful. I've been drinking a lot more water and not being hungry because I'm full from the water.
Water is a very, very healthy drink. People just don't give it enough importance because it's freely available and nobody is marketing it that much. Again, because they cannot make money out of us. What else are we trying different? Anybody is writing with their left hand a couple of times or anything different? Please, Marcia.
So I had thought about writing with my left hand, but that didn't appeal to me at all. So I'm a fitness instructor. So I thought I'm going to try some new fitness that that's going to really challenge me. So I did that Saturday, just a YouTube video, and wow. So when I got your link yesterday, about heart health and everything, and trying something new, your little survey about trying something new, it was like, yeah, I did. But it was, I could do it, but it was a real challenge, for me. But I think I think in my mind, sometimes I can't do something, and yeah, I can. So anyway, it was a good challenge.
So that's what we're going to talk about today. How to physically push your body while we are doing introspection, self-inquiry. So combining the two is so fun. Thanks for that introduction to today's talk, Marcia. Any other quick thoughts before we get on with Willie's experience? Willie, why don't you introduce yourself, how long you've known us, and where you are currently in a minute or two?
Okay. Well, my name is Willie Fox, and I met Dr. Chockalingam about 14 months ago. I was taken to his office. When I first met him, I had all kinds of problems. I had high blood pressure. I had congestive heart failure. I had not only blood pressure issues, but I had what is it? I don't know the name of it when your body retains water. Anyway, that whatever that medical term is, I was being bloated with my body retaining water. I was drastically overweight. And by the way, I'm still overweight, but I'm improving on a daily basis. I met Dr. Chockalingam, and I couldn't believe what he told me when I first walked in his office. He asked me what I wanted to do. Doctors usually tell you what they want to do, but he took the time to ask. He asked me very directly, "What do you want to do? How do you feel? What do you want?" I told him I just want to get better. I want good health. And from that point on, he's given, not only when I go in to see him now, I get what's called a mini lecture on on what I should be doing or shouldn't be doing. He is very encouraging. I did take the time to read his book, Seeking Hunger. In fact, I've read it a couple of times, and each time I read it, it gives me more and more incentive to do more of what he's teaching. And I call him a teacher because that's exactly what he is to me. He is not only a teacher, he's become a person in my life that has put me on a path to make me realize, recognize, and understand that eating is the basics for our happiness. I mean, I understand that when I eat now, I can be hungry and eat and truly be happy. But I can also be hungry and be happy. And when he told me to smile 20 times a day, I mean, that brought a smile on my face right away just by him saying that. I have tried to do that on a regular basis. He taught me what it means to appreciate and to recognize the things that you appreciate. I told him, I told you, I don't know if all you guys were here last week, but I believe I said something to the effect of I could look out my window now and it doesn't take much for us to appreciate what we have in life. But from the moment I wake up now, I wake up giving thanks. And like I said, when I open my window, the moment I look out and I see the trees and the greenery and the water and I mean, and there's just so many things in your life that you can appreciate and so many reasons to smile. I feel like I'm smiling 50 times a day now because when I see things, it just makes me feel good. It makes me understand that life is about living. And without going too far off track, I want to tell you guys that I used to have quite an appetite, and thanks to Dr. Chaka Langham, he made me understand, or helped me to understand, that part that is not as important as I thought it was. I thought I had to eat. I thought, whether I woke up hungry or not, I just thought breakfast was okay. That's just a given. You wake up, you have breakfast. I did that for years and years and years. And I was not only scrambled eggs and bacon and sausage and biscuits, and I just unfortunately that was one of the things that I grew up with was, and I'm not blaming my parents, but I mean, I love to eat. I still like to eat. There are times when I still like to eat things that I shouldn't have, but I know I don't need a whole cheeseburger. Or when I get fries, I mean, it's just a handful of fries now instead of a plate full of fries. And the more I did that, the less and less I was eating, and the happier I became. And then Dr. Chaka Langham talked to me about exercise, and I was never, ever, ever one for exercising every day. And so and to me, walking was natural. I didn't consider that exercise, but that's what he started me off on, was walking. And he says, just, go for a short walk. And again, when I first met him, I could hardly make it to his office without passing out from my car to inside the building to his office. And now I'm up to my goal is 4,000 steps every day. And I'm just shy of that right now, but I'm trying to, by the time, and I think that I'm gonna blame that on the weather. I think that as the weather improves, I know I will be out more because I'm happier when I'm outside in nature, and I can, if I don't do anything else, I can walk around in my yard and I don't have to walk around the block or walk so many miles. I just know that just movement is exercise. I'm doing arm curls now with what do you call those, dumbbells? Yeah, dumbbells now, and I do roughly 40 sets a day on each arm, and it's about 12 pounds per dumbbell. I know it's not a lot of weight, but it's helping me build the muscle that was there. I had lost, and now it's starting to come back. He helped me understand that gaining muscle is gaining weight as well. And that I started to do that, and I thought I was doing something wrong because I had reached what I thought was a plateau. And every time I go to his office, he has these charts for me to see. I don't know if he's going, like he shows us these charts every week of someone else and how they're progressing in their journey. Well, he does whenever I go to his office, he takes time to print me out a chart. And just looking at the number, everything comes down, being a diabetic, I'm no longer on diabetic medicine. What he's done is taken me off all my diabetic medicine. I do take stuff to help with my heart condition. But it's again, it's helping me gain my strength more and more every day. And to hear him say, you know, people are living to 100 years old, you know, needless to say, that's my goal, and I want to continue to do that. I'm not real sure what else I can say about Dr. Chaka Langham other than him being my doctor. He has also become a very good friend. And what I wanted to share with everyone here was he taught my wife and I, whenever I come to his office, he would do this. And I didn't know if he was actually praying but he'd walk in the office and he'd do this. And my wife took the time to say, what does that mean? And he told me the definition. He says, when you do this, it means I see God in you. And I thought to myself, wow, how profound. Someone says that they see God in you. And now whenever I see him, I must do this, because that's exactly how I feel about him. I see God in him, and he's blessing me every day. And I just want to take time to thank him. And not only this gesture, but he taught us the word Vanakkam. And that's what it means. When you see two people do this and they say Vanakkam, they're saying, I see God in you. And I just appreciate that. And I take that with me every day. You know, sometimes I say it to people and they have no idea what I'm talking about, but I know what I mean. So anyway, that's my spiel, and thank you guys for listening. I know I repeated myself a couple of times, but it's good to see everybody. I see a lot of familiar faces. Last thing I want to say is Dr. Chaka Langham. I don't know if your dad is on today, but Dr. Chaka Langham's father was coming on the earlier sessions, and his father had so many words of wisdom that I see now where Dr. Chaka Langham got his knowledge, because his father is just as equally as inspiring as he is. So I just wanted to get that out there. Thank you guys for listening.
Amazing. Thanks so much, Willie. Congratulations on such a transformation that you have brought about. I did not stop a single medicine. Your inner journey allowed you to come away from these supports. These medicines are all helping, but they are helping people who have illness, who have chronic conditions. When you slowly move away from those conditions, you don't need them anymore. So we are so proud of you. And these few minutes, what you said, it's same thing with what Lisa and Marcia said. And now Willie is not a speaker. I know him for a year at least. This is the longest I've heard him speak. But I don't think with all my slides and all my experience as a teacher and cardiologist, I'm going to do anything better than Willie did in the next 20 minutes. So maybe I should stop talking and just try to keep my discussion for next Monday, because Willie spoke so beautifully and he covered so much. His personal experience tells us so much more than what I can show to you through some slides. That's where things are. So any other quick thoughts? Anybody wishes to talk to Willie? This is a good time. He's here with us. If you want to have a quick minute with him. Willie's wife is also an amazing friend. I think she's in a different computer today, but she's also with us here. Excellent. Any other quick suggestions, thoughts before we go on to some slides? I just can't thank enough the people who already spoke today. So I'll try to keep my slides as brief as I possibly can. And then I'll hang around, even if it's time for people to leave. Others who can hang around can stay back today a little longer. Do you see my slide as a full screen? Are you able to see it full screen?
Yes.
No,
Yes.
it's not. full screen. No, it's not full screen.
We're seeing your slide and your next slide, both.
Now is it full screen?
Yes, now
Yes.
it's full screen.
Super. Can I request everyone to mute yourself so that we'll go through some slides. If you have questions, you're most welcome to unmute and ask me while I'm talking. So this is perfectly fine. But if I'm the one talking, better to keep the Zoom system as quiet as possible. And if you want to turn off your videos, your bandwidth may be a little better. That's just a thought. Today's discussion is, am I exercising enough? So today we are in the 5th of our 8-week series. And throughout February, American Heart Month, we are going to continue to meet Monday mornings in the US and Monday evenings in India. So since Willie gave such a beautiful description of his last 14 months, I just added this slide as he was talking. Thanks so much, Willie, for sharing and trusting and following this heartful living, the Siddha consciousness path for the last 14 months of your life. And this slide just got published today morning. This is the reference. And what we are saying is, as we grow older, our risk of weight itself being the reason for heart failing increases. So this graph looks downward because it's over time. When people are getting 5-10 years older, even lesser amounts of weight can make the heart fail. So this graph goes all the way up to a BMI of 80. There are unfortunately people who are dealing with weight even higher than that. Normal weight, we all may remember, is between 25 BMI, and it's actually lesser. 20 to 25 is the normal BMI. So this graph actually starts with obesity, and it shows how excess weight directly causes heart failure. So this is more like a hypothesis, but it is based on already published studies here. So what we are trying to tell the world to research more is the direct relationship between extra weight and the heart not being able to cope. And why did I even think about this area of research after being a cardiologist for 15 years is because of Willie and some amazing people like Willie that I've got to work with in the last 3 to 5 years, who are telling me that not only diabetes medicines can be stopped, but even heart failure medicines, they are just not needing them once they take these self-inquiry and fasting methods into their natural way of living. Today morning, I got this email from one of our own participants. We won't mention any names, but this friend of ours is telling us that recalling pleasant times is at least 15 years in my past. Pleasure and enjoyment aren't really relevant for my life today. So this is the challenge when I send a 15-question survey asking people to answer them the best of their ability. This is the reply I'm getting from our own participants. This is the reality that we are currently facing. There is so much variability in what we bring to this 8-week series. So we don't need to worry who we are specifically trying to change, how many calories, how many this, how many that. Today, also, as we started this discussion, I said it's not the same thing as the Heartful Living that we do in the Truman VA on Fridays, because there I would sit with 20 people and chat and connect, and that's the real thing before the pandemic. But today we are all in our own space at home in different parts of the world, and we are trying to connect. So today's meditation for 1 minute is just trying to sit back straight in your chair. I'm going to ask you to do that now. Relax your feet. Then relax your abdomen, relax your neck. Let the neck not rest anywhere. Try to sit up as best as you can and stay relaxed. And then try to bring your attention to the breathing. And I want you to think of someone you met today in this Zoom series, preferably from a different continent. There are people from Singapore, from India, from the US. So if you are from India, think about somebody you don't know in the US. If you're from the US, think about somebody in Singapore. And just feel, let the, what should I say, that connection, that goodwill, feel that they are also going through the challenges of life. Just let's wish them well as we take a minute to just relax and wish good, or we can say like Willie said, Vanakkam. I see the goodness and the God in you. So let us think about that thought for a minute and wish well for somebody far away. In a minute, we'll continue. Vanakkam. So you do see some grapes in the picture. We haven't talked about it. My request to you is to bring grapes to next Monday, February 14th session. We need only 2 or 3 grapes, but please remember to bring grapes. And in case you don't like or don't have grapes, bring some walnuts or some other small snack, but bring something to eat. So we're going to eat together next Monday. Remember the grapes. So what is the real scope of Siddha consciousness? Siddha, the world recognizes, just like Chinese medicine or Ayurveda is a very ancient system of natural medical remedies for health issues. So that is the medicine aspect. But Siddha also, even more importantly, requests, encourages and wants us to pursue better lifestyle. And then comes yoga, all the postures and meditation and so many things that yoga encompasses. And beyond all this is the much broader scope of consciousness itself. So to understand consciousness, we use all these tools, but the true scope of consciousness is very, very difficult to describe in slides or in experiences. But today's session, the way it started, I feel everybody is so connected. So my gratitude is my way of experiencing consciousness. We are pretty small. The earth is right in the middle of this picture. When our friend says there are so many challenges in her past, that it takes so many years, she has to go back to find pleasant memories. We want to invite everybody to connect with not our current space and time, but also with that much deeper eternal energy that comes from the sun. Compared to the size of the sun, we are so small. Compared to our own consciousness, our physical, emotional, mental challenges and issues are just like that, so small. So we can expand our consciousness and know that time and the need is there. So let us do the best we can to understand life in a more deeper and profound way. Coming on to this discussion on how we do with happiness. In a scale of 1 to 10, we start off at around 6.7, 6.8 when we are teenagers, and then it continues to drop until the age of about 50. And then the fun starts. This is across the world. People get happier from the age of 50. Where it doesn't mean that if some of you are in your 20s and 30s, you have to prepare to be unhappy. Just seeing this, we can turn our clock to start moving upward right away. Now we want to explore what psychologists define resilience as. It's the ability, the process of adapting well in the face of adversity. It involves bouncing back from difficult experiences, and it can also involve profound inner growth. So that is what resilience is. And again, resilience follows a similar curve. It drops significantly and starts getting better by the time people cross their 30s. So resilience starts going up from your 30s, but happiness takes until 50s to start going up. We don't even want the dip. If we have children in our group, we want resilience and happiness to only start getting better throughout life. And what we know is 60% of Americans do not have high resilience, and preteens throughout young adult age are experiencing a sharp decline in resilience. And this is more true now in this COVID world, because children who need to be with their friends and with their teachers, they are been stuck at home in the pandemic, worried about their own health and seeing their own family elders suffer with COVID. So it's a very, very challenging world that we are now experiencing. And then young adults have low resilience and 8 times less likely to feel they have opportunities to apply their abilities in life. So this is the challenge that young adults between 18 and 25 are now experiencing. This is an important thing to remember. Children who use social media for less than 5 hours a day, that itself is looked upon as a welcome change. Less than 5 hours means they are freer, they are happier, and they are more resilient compared to children who spend more than 5 hours on social media. So it's not easy to get our kids off the media, but encourage them to spend as little time as possible. And the best way to encourage children to spend less time in social media is to give them so much more fun things to do with their time. So this is a very interesting study that connects how physical activity, as we increase it, it makes us more physically active, embrace it more intuitively, and it also directly makes us happier. And then they also showed when you are physically active and happy, that happiness also contributes to increased physical activity. And then this is in children taking more steps, their happiness getting higher. And then this is an even more complex look at the same thing, saying physical activity improves our weight and improves our perceived physical fitness, thereby our body image and self-esteem. So exercise makes us more confident in life. And this is the pathway it takes, makes us fitter and believe in ourselves more so that it increases our confidence. So this is what we've moved on to recently discuss. The role of exercise, awareness, and smile. So this is our Siddha consciousness concept. One of the concepts was hunger gratitude experience. The second one is, it took us 5 weeks to come to the second concept, exercise, awareness, and smile experience. So how we discuss this is what I want to focus on in the next 10 to 15 minutes. So this we just got published last month, encouraging flow, a state of calm and deep focus to improve exercise compliance during cardiac rehabilitation. So this is heart patients finding that exercise can give them more confidence, and it itself becomes a deeper meditation. So this we already discussed. Somebody, for instance, playing tennis, where if I was to play with somebody who doesn't ever play tennis, I'll be bored. If I was to play with Roger Federer, I'll be anxious. But if I play with another person who loves tennis but is only at my level of skill, there is a chance I may enter into flow 1 in 10 times. So like this, I've been talking about for 5 years. Even before we started Hunger and Gratitude in 2018, we talked about flow phenomenon for the last 10 years. And what we've recognized is we want to understand how exercise, it can be aerobic, interval training, resistance training, and we want to recognize what this Borg-Dyspnea index is. So it starts from 1, it goes up to 10. Sitting and talking to me is just 1, where I'm comfortable, I'm not panting. And if we talk about casual walking, it would be 3 or 4. Walking fast would be moderate exercise. Playing tennis would be 7 or 8 for me, especially if I'm being pushed by younger, more active tennis players. And 9 or 10 is hard to sustain anything. It's like going full burst of running. Anybody can sustain that only for a minute or so. So this is this Vogue Dyspnea scale that goes all the way up to 10 being, just can't breathe. So that is the 10, okay? 7 or 8, maybe you can sustain for a few minutes, maybe 20, 30 minutes. But 5 or 6, most people should be able to have some sweat on their forehead and work hard and sustain it for maybe about 20, 30 minutes. So this is the ideal level to exercise if you can push your body and you don't have any heart trouble to start with. So what is this awareness? Being aware of where we are is all that it is. And then we also include smiling. If people can smile when they are actually exercising, okay, I can do it at 3, I can do it at 5. I want you to try it, even at 7 or 8. And even if you're at 9 or 10, I want that smiling 20 times. Willie said in a day, he actually meant in an hour. We want everybody to smile 20 times in an hour. So that smile, we don't want to drop when we are fasting, when we are hungry. We don't want that smiling count to drop even when we are pushing at 9 or 10. So that is the exercise awareness and smile experience. And actually, you will find in sports psychology that if you are really able to relax at the deeper level, you will be able to go longer when you're working hard physically. The other way of looking at the smile experience when you're exercising is to imagine and suggest to yourself that you're only half your weight. I'm say 75 kilograms. I'll imagine that I'm only 30 kilograms or 20 kilograms. Whatever I want to imagine, I can imagine. I can imagine I'm only as light as a feather. And then I still do the tennis or running or biking or whatever exercise I'm doing. That suggestion that I'm lighter allows me to move through that challenging exercise much, much better. So smile, relaxing, self-suggesting that we are lighter. So that is the exercise smile experience. So this is what you answered. And if people haven't answered this survey, I request you to do it today. I emailed it to our group yesterday. And if you didn't get it, please shoot me an email. I'll send it to you again. And based on how we score in that, this is what we published, saying people look at exercise as a work. And then when we learn this meditation while we are exercising at lower levels, then we will naturally gravitate towards enjoying exercise. We recognize exercise is more fun, improves our mood. And then comes the real fun when we do this a little longer. And this applies to people of all ages and skill levels, people who have only one leg or who had spine surgery and who are not able to walk much. So we find different types of exercise that their body can adjust to. So this is what we do, a home-based upper extremity tailored exercise program. We've done this now for 10 to 15 years in Colombia. This is mostly at the VA, and we still have this home rehab program going and growing. And we have now people joining from other VAs outside Missouri also. So what this is when we exercise becomes the life's highlight itself. So now 70-year-olds can take up exercise and take ownership for it. It's not just another 30 minutes that they are doing for the cardiologist or their family or for their therapist's sake. They're doing it because it's fun. So that is when your score keeps increasing and you find that exercise is a way of meditation. The examples are this 50-year-old engineer who developed chest pain just by walking. He came to the emergency room and his heart stopped. Luckily, he was in the emergency room. He could be revived. He got stented. Heart function slowly improved during cardiac rehabilitation, and he attended our Heartful Living remotely. This was years before we did the remote series. This was before COVID. He couldn't be here because he's in the Dubai. He couldn't be here physically, but he attended it. And 3 months later, his heart function was better, but the fun starts right here. This is his own graph. He's an engineer, so he sent me this graph. He said, in my dyspnea index of 1 to 10, this is this going up, the red line, but my heart rate is stabilizing. And by 30 minutes on the treadmill at a constant speed, being a heart patient with stent and heart having stopped, by about 30 minutes, my dyspnea reaches 10, and I have to stop on 6 days. But on the 7th day of that week, he is continuing extra 5, 10, 15, 20 minutes, and the heart is still going fast because he has a watch that measures his heart rate. But the dyspnea has dropped off despite him being on the treadmill. People may call this second wind or runner's high, but this is happening in a patient who is having a heart problem, stent, and going through rehab and experiencing this. So we call this flow phenomenon. So he's able to experience that relaxation at a deeper subconscious level that is allowing him to continue the exercise without having to stop the treadmill. So then I asked him, why do you even stop? He said, it takes 45, 50 minutes. And then I look at the watch, it's too late. I have to get to work in the morning. So I stop. And then the next day he comes, he again, by about 20, 30 minutes, he stops because it's dyspnea. Then I asked him, what are the things you have to do? Then he says, the night, if I had slept well before, and if I had had a light dinner and I'm not going to bed too heavy, then there is a better chance for me to enter into this flow. So he is telling me how meditation is possible while on the treadmill. So this is why his story is one of the stories that we published. But this exercise is only for 30 minutes. Once a week is only, he is able to enter into this flow. Now comes another professor here at MU who ended up with a heart attack and stent at the age of 69. At that point in his life in 2018, walking in Walmart, he would get short of breath. Then he attended our rehab and then the exercise awareness he learned, and then he started enjoying exercise. This happened within few months of the stenting. And then within 6 months, he's already participating in 5-kilometer races. He's never exercised until 69, and now he's participating in exercise. And then 2019, he's now training with athletes who are in school and college and doing fitness training at Mizzou. He's working with them to improve his fitness. And he's enjoying every day that he's doing that. He's doing intermittent fitness training now. And then he's feeling 25 years younger. And this is only getting better. His story is amazing. And this flow is not over 30 minutes once a week. This flow he's experiencing on an ongoing daily basis. So that is what the transformation that he has achieved, not by sitting and meditating alone, which he does, but primarily 90% of his transformation is because of his much, much deeper intuitive connection with his body that he is experiencing this level of happiness. This people saw the last time, so I'm going to try and skip it if I can. So the reason why, I'm hoping you're able to hear me now. The reason I brought this slide, this video back is because this person is playing the sport and we are all spectators. If we turn the tables and if we are ready for that ball that is coming or sometimes not even coming, then we can cope with life's challenges so much better. So this I use as a way to recognize how much resilience we can build, not only at the physical level, exercise level, and emotional level for whatever challenges life may throw at us. This is another example. In 2016, this is a very good friend of mine who woke up and found her. You're able to hear me, I'm hoping? Okay, I'll keep talking. If there's any issues, you let me know. Is it full screen or not yet?
It's full screen.
It's full screen. Thanks.
Mhm.
So in 2016, this good friend of mine woke up and found her husband is not waking up. He had a cardiac arrest during sleep. And when she woke up, he just didn't make it in the morning. That's all. He didn't exercise. He didn't push his limit. He just didn't wake up. She was left with 2 teenage children and she had been sedentary all her life. She is a physician. She went to medical school with me. And by 3 years from then, despite these challenges, being a single mom, her work became more efficient. She remains fulfilled in life at a deep level. Her kids are very well in track to doing well in their life. And the key thing she attributes her success is to learning to run, learning to swim, and combining all that with biking. And she's now become a triathlete. And this is her story. She shares all of this with us. And I want to thank Dr. Anbumani, who's in Chennai, India, inspiring so many of our friends, despite so many setbacks in our life. So whatever we want to share here, physical state of health, we understand, but our lifestyle and behavior, we are under the surface. We want to address that. And then comes the motivation, which is even deeper, and then the deeper meaning in life itself. So this is what we are trying to recognize through exercise. Wherever we are, we may be sedentary, we may be getting some walking in, but we want to move deeper within ourselves to find how we can have more outside the box thinking by trying new exercises and then slowly finding things that are sustainable and yet fun. And every time we do it, it should give us some more insight into who we are. That is the type of meditation that I want you to do while you're exercising every day starting today. Being fit keeps us healthier longer. There is no doubt about it. Even if we start at the age of 55 or 60 and move ourselves from low level of activity to a little more fitness, then our health dramatically improves throughout our lifespan. We started these studies long ago, and we have people doing this home-based upper extremity exercise. The arms are only, I think, about a third or a fourth as much muscle as the legs. So if we can walk, we are working much bigger muscle groups. But if people cannot walk, using the arm bicycle, this machine is expensive, but if you want to get an arm bicycle, it's only, I think, $80 or $90 at a store. And you can just put it on your dining table and get some exercise if you are not able to walk. But if you're able to walk, but have a lot of arthritis, then walking in the swimming pool is an option. There are so many things we can do. But in this program, we showed home-based cardiac rehab is so effective, especially in improving exercise time by 7 minutes. And quality of life questionnaires, all of this got better. And we just published this work also. Now I move on to interval training. So this is cardio training where we warm up, exercise, and then cool down. But aerobic interval or high intensity interval training, HIIT training, means we push our maximum limit. Instead of 60, 70%, we go to 90, 100%. And then for a minute or two, we continue that and then slow down and then go up. Like this is up and down for 4 times. So 4 on, 4 off. If we can do even in half the time, we can get nearly as much benefit. People with heart disease, they have to first check with their physician or cardiologist. But people who are otherwise healthy can try this also at times. In real life, when we are going shopping and carrying groceries or running in the airports, this is what happens to us. We are suddenly expected to do exercise. This type of warm up and cool down, real life does not give us. This is actually more artificial than this, when this simulates real life. But again, this pushes our body at a higher level. So just check with your doctor that your health is in good shape before you try pushing your limit. Life itself begins at the end of our comfort zone. So that is what I'm inviting you to explore through flow. And this chance of entering into flow occurs only when we challenge ourselves. If we are comfortably walking at 2 or 3 level in the Borg scale, we cannot. We have to go to 5, 6 to be able to have a chance to enter into flow. When you go to 9 or 10, then it becomes a little challenging. So learn this flow at a comfortable level by learning to exercise safely and pushing to a modest level. And if you're a heart patient, just check first. Yoga has been around for thousands of years, showing people through so many postures and exercises that health can be accomplished at our own level, at our own skill, at any point in life. So this exercising for health has been there for over 5,000 years in Siddha tradition. And we have so many records of this in India. It may be playing a sport, it may be gardening, it may be having time with your grandchild, but whatever it is, when you're wholeheartedly participating and you lose sense of time, that is when you have a chance to engage completely and enter into flow. The exercise may be so many types. It is aerobic or it can be resistance, static training. So the examples of that will be sailing, weightlifting and things like that. And for aerobic, it would be tennis and soccer and running sports. And you can combine both in canoeing and decathlon and rowing, things like that. So you get a lot of exercises in the world, and people with less and less physical exercise capacity, they can still find something that is fun and can be a physical sport. So chess does not feature here because it is not involving the body, but any physical sport that includes your body, like walking, whatever you think you can safely do at your level of skill, start engaging and slowly exploring, understanding not just the exercise, but understanding yourself through the exercise. We have this here at MU for heart patients who've been through cardiac rehab. We call it Fit for Life. And we have a lot of options here at low cost to help our Columbia community. And we have it for employees also to help avoid physician burnout. We offer these programs. And I did this before the pandemic for 1 year. And I brought these pictures at the end of all these exercises that I did with the trainer, so that my children will trust that I really exercise, because they thought Dad may play some tennis, but he's not able to do fitness training. But this is the proof that I did that. And this is another session with another coach in the same Human Performance Institute at the university that I'm doing a lot of these exercises and feeling so proud for completing it. So exercise means we want you to experience some variety, try sports, because sports is different from exercise. Exercise people look at as a chore, whereas sports we look at it as fun. And when we have difficulties with walking, try upper extremity exercises also. Interval training can add so much spice and variety and make it not boring and chore-like anymore. And then weight training is fun too. Above the age of 40, even 5-pound weights, 10-pound weights, if you can do, is going to keep your muscle stronger, and bone strength will be better, and your agility and your balance, all these things will not go down, and frailty we can overcome through weight training. Moving naturally like Tai Chi, yoga, there are so many things we can do. And when we find flow through exercise, that means then it's not a chore or exercise anymore. It becomes a meditation itself. So what are the benefits of exercise? It optimizes our vagal tone, reduces our stress, improves endothelial function, reduces our risk for heart attack. Through transference, even if you are exercising only the smaller upper extremity arm exercises, you are benefiting your legs, your whole body, and your heart through this transference phenomena. Bypass surgery, like bypass we do for 3 or 4 blockages in the heart, maximum 5. When we exercise, nature can do 5,000 bypass surgeries within a few minutes. So that is the power of nature. Happiness through hormone, endorphins, serotonin, oxytocin, and dopamine. All these are the happy hormones secreted in our body when we are exercising. And this directly leads to resilience to whatever challenge life throws at us. So genes, our medicines, procedures like balloon stent, all of this can only contribute to 25% of our well-being. 75% of our health has always been in our own hands at our own home, and that may have something to do with the environment, our community, our consciousness, and our diet. So these things, we want to recognize the value of this and slowly move towards a better health. Every day we can journey. And this is a very nice friend of mine who's been inviting me to swim with her in summers in Greece. That's where she is from. And every summer she still continues to go there to swim. So what is so special about swimming in Greece? It may be just like swimming anywhere in the US, but the special thing is she is now 97 years of age. So the thing is she's done this all her life. So the swimming in Greece has helped her stay motivated and fit and that enthusiastic. The picture doesn't show how happy she is, but she's so full of life. So this is a picture that we took for encouraging doctors and physicians here at MU to avoid stress and burnout, and reminding people that to cope with life stresses, physical exercise is so valuable. I want you to look at that shirt that I'm wearing 5-6 years ago when we took that picture. We'll come to that shirt later. So the real scope of consciousness is awaiting you. It needs you to go in and explore what you can do with your heart. Thanks so much. So you are able to see me again? Yes? Okay, the slides are gone. That's great. So I showed you my shirt 6 years ago when we took that picture. That same shirt I'm still wearing inside. It's the exact same shirt. So why am I wearing it today? Because I'm dressed for dual purposes. Actually, I'm in scrubs, so all day I can work. But inside, I'm wearing my tennis shorts and this shirt. So this is winter here in Missouri. So at end of my work day, I already have an appointment with 2 people so that we're going to play tennis at the end of my day. So it's so fun at the end of the day. But being at work doesn't mean we have to leave the exercise at home. So I'm already celebrating the tennis that I'm going to play 8 hours from now. So that is what I want you to embrace as fun for you. It's not tennis. It is some exercise, some activity, because the body is such a vital aspect of consciousness itself. So I will stop here and we'll open it up for a discussion. Please feel free to unmute yourself and chat. I think my dad might have joined. So if he's here, Willie wanted you to say hello, Dad. If you're here, say hello to us.
Hello, how are you all?
Hey, there he is.
I'm really happy.
That's the
How are
man
you? How
right
things
there.
are going on? We are also closely connected. I appreciate Professor Anand Chokkalingam's nice talk. And here I am a very busy hours, but despite I am listening Anand because to take care of my heart, I'm listening him. I am so happy to see you all and this ad energetic tonic for everyone. I really appreciate Anand. And only one thing I want to tell everyone, those who are listening, consider our life is a dynamic. When you are going to consider your life is a dynamic, we must keep moving. That's what it is meant for. Those who have been sitting for a long time is equivalent to smoking many cigarettes. Please understand. So sitting for a long time is not good. We must know how to relax. And what I want to say in sum up in 1 second is, consider your job is relaxation. Consider your job itself a recreation. And consider your life existence is a gift given by God or by self. And you must enjoy that gift of your living itself. That is what Anand has been stressing all the time. And our aim of Anand, Chokkalingam and everyone is, see that those who are listening, that must not need our help, real sense. That is what the ultimate goal of us. I really appreciate Anand and all friends. So please spread this message at the earliest to many people as much as possible. Make globally healthy and wealthy. I really appreciate Anand. Thanks a lot.
Thanks, Dad, for joining. This session is happening at a time when Dad has clinic. Otherwise, he'll spend the whole hour with us, but he found the time to join. One quick question, Dad. Why don't you tell us in half a minute what exercise you do on most days? Because that would be nice.
And whatever that amount of time I am working, The most important thing I'm enjoying is my exercise. And as Anand knows, exercise secretes good hormones, especially endorphin. So because I'm addicted and habituated, I generally do minimum 2 hours per day. Every day, 2 hours. And not that 5 days a week, 4 days a week. Every time it permits, 7 days a week. Even if I fly to see America, when I'm flying in 24 hours, I see that I walk in the flight minimum 2 hours. That is my habit of spending my time and keep moving, enjoying. And this habit of exercise, habit of my dieting, everything taught my son Anand Chokkalingam, to be very honest. And that is making me more healthy and keeping me totally fit. I really appreciate Anand. Thanks a lot.
Thank you. Thanks, sir. We'll open it up for questions.
Anand, can I talk?
Please.
Anand.
We don't see you yet. You might have to. Yes, we can see you now.
Anand, I enjoyed your talk. And actually, as I told you previously, you said it in a slower way so that we can catch up the points. And one more thing, the light food in the night with good sleep, that helps exercise in the day. And I'm thankful for your wonderful way of telling the subject, what you had learned from your experience. All the best, Anand.
Thanks so
And
much.
I thank all the friends here for the enjoyable evening that Anand has presented for all of us. Nice being with you all.
It is very special to connect with my dad and now my mom. My dad is cardiologist. You all know my mom is also a physician. She's a pathologist. She's now retired, and I'm glad both of them are able to join us. So we'll take some quick questions, discussions. I'm available, but I know it's getting late for many people. But if people have to sign off, I recognize that. Next session, we'll meet again the same time, February 14th. Today, I'm around and we can discuss whatever questions, suggestions you may have. You'll have to unmute yourself.
Anand, as you are waiting, on small comment can I make?
Sure.
And Dr. Anbu Ganapathy is there, really happy. One small statement for my friends. We have been created by procreation. All of us are existing because of our parents' procreation. What I want to stress here is you can recreate yourself by means of only recreation. The moment if you are going to feel that everything is recreation, you are recreating constantly. That will make you very healthy and live longer without any medicines at all. I believe strongly about that, Anand.
Very nice.
Thanks a lot, Anand.
Siddhar Anbu Ganapathy, would you like to say something, sir? Anyone
Yeah,
is welcome.
Vanakkam.
Vanakkam.
It's an excellent presentation. What we are all practicing for more than 50 years, you are telling it to the society. We are experiencing what you spoke so far. This exercise, meditation, and spending every minute happily. We don't regret for anything. And most of the times of the day, we keep our mind empty. You may not believe it. We don't load our mind with too much of thoughts. And we never lament on past. We never lament on past for anything. We never regret. And future plans also not too much. Living in the present, enjoying the present. Dad very nicely said that we are all the products of procreation, but we have to recreate ourselves through recreation. So anything in our life, it should be oriented towards the recreation, recreating us to live every moment fruitfully, meaningfully. And most important thing that gives longevity is seeing happiness in the face of others. Try to help, try to share. That's what you are doing. It's not for money. The intention is to keep people healthy. Being a cardiologist, you are telling people how to live without cardiac problems. So you are burning your own bread by giving this knowledge to the people. That is, your inner mind is divine. You have come through a path which has given you that awakening in your mind. The consciousness needs no money. The consciousness needs no support from anybody. You are by nature, you are a creation of Ananda. If you can go to your conscious, you experience your Ananda. So I used to very frequently sing this song. Anandamayiruda, Manida, Anandamayiruda. Anandam ni endrarindittu, Anandamayiruda, Manida, Anandamayiruda. தோன்றும் தோன்றாவும் ஆனந்தம் தோண்டி எடுத்து நீ ஆனந்தமாயிருடா மனிதா ஆனந்தமாயிருடா. Every moment you learn to be happy. Ananda is something great. That is, your happiness may be due to some mundane affairs, but Ananda is something that is from within. You explore your inner, explore. You said rightly that you turn your journey towards your inner self. That gives you fulfillment. That gives you not sheer longevity, that gives you life with happiness. And that's what I think you have been trying to impart so far with the people. Very nice, very nice. I'm very happy. And the dad and mommy also added a lot in this juncture. Happy so much. Thank you. God bless you with all happiness, good health, and long life to serve humanity, which is your goal. Thank you. Thank you.
Thanks so much, Ayya Siddhar Anbu Ganapathy, for such a wonderful comment. Now, we are having 3 more weeks where we're going to talk some more concepts. The question that Gokul has asked is, Doctor, can you comment on enlightenment, which everyone talks as the ultimate goal of meditation? So I'm going to address it over the next few weeks some more. So please stay with us, Gokul. But since Siddhar Anbu Ganapathy has joined us today, why don't you take half a minute to tell us about that also, sir? What is enlightenment according to Siddha wisdom? In half a minute, you just tell us. I know I need to give you 6 hours, but we have only very little.
Enlightenment is knowing thyself. Real enlightenment comes not out of your knowledge, not out of your experience, but it is out of knowing and seeing the invisible. Rightly, it is said in English, you have something that is not visible, they say invisible. But the real meaning is inside you, there is something visible. You go in and see the invisible, then you will get enlightened. You will understand what is not true and what is true. Enlightenment is not just the knowledge, not just the wisdom, but it is an awareness that comes from within. That's what we are experiencing. And very difficult to express it in words. Unless you experience it, that comes out of, as you said, yoga, meditation, exercise, dancing, music, and all gives you. That is just to turn towards the inside. Go inside and know who you are. That is enlightenment.
Beautiful, Ayya. Thanks so much. With my dad and with Siddhar Anbu Ganapathy and with our mindfulness expert, Dr. Anne Betancourt, we are now writing a few examples over the last 3 to 5 years of heartful living patients who have taught us that, yes, that level of happiness is possible. There is this enlightenment or bliss or samadhi, And our patients are showing us that they can go beyond to a word called Uvagai. So that also we will discuss in the next few weeks. And those who had the chance to answer some questions that I sent yesterday, those questions are a window into that experience of life beyond the realm of logic and reason. And that is what we are now, just like Willie now made me write a paper about obesity years based on his own experience of his weight. He showed us that heart failure can be reversed. He didn't just show us that diabetes can be reversed. Like that, consciousness, I am learning from this heartful living that we are exploring together with so many heart patients. And those stories also we will discuss. How we can work towards Uvagai. Next 3 weeks, we're going to continue this discussion. And I'm so glad that we have my dad, my mom, and now Siddhar Anbuganapati. And we have Willie and so many other friends who are exploring the same question within themselves. It's very simple, direct experience. And Siddhar Anbuganapati used the word truth. So enlightenment is not some theory. It is your own truth. So what you find as true is only what we are going to discuss. So this journey is so fun, and from here it only gets to become more fun. That much I can tell you. I'm around, so if anyone wishes to have any further questions, discussions, we are so happy. Next session is on losing yourself. Wow, I didn't know I had a title like that. Through flow and Uvagai. So that's what we're going to talk about. What Uvagai is, we're going to talk next Monday, February 14th. Valentine's Day, we'll understand the real power of the heart. Yes, sir.
Is it possible that you could share the slides? Some of us ended up multitasking in this session and didn't quite really follow everything.
Definitely. Just shoot me an email. I can send it to you.
Absolutely. Thank you. The other question I had is the last week when you asked us to challenge ourselves, I tried to eat less, especially in the night or throughout the day, and more so in the night. I have this tendency, which is why I put on quite a bit of weight, is that I tend to, when I feel hungry in the night after, completing my, putting my kids to bed and doing some more work, and I try to eat something, but I stopped that. That was my challenge for the last week, and going hungry to bed and not snacking on anything before going to bed. What I found difficult in the morning was exercising at the same intensity level that I used to do before. Sometimes I, in fact, had to take some break. My body was not prepared for that vigor. I mean, not that I'm so vigorous, but still, the previous weeks versus this week. Any comments? Just take it slow, or?
The answer is, we are trying to work with the body, not against the body. And the body has its own ways of thinking and logic, and it's so intelligent on its own. What it is sensing is that less food is coming in, I should conserve my energy. When it is trying to reduce the metabolic rate and conserve energy, it cannot exercise to your prior level. But then you can slowly continue to work from this lower level back up to that higher level of fitness and continuous. See, if you are able to bike for 5 miles, because you are putting less food in your body, the next day you might bike only for 3 miles or 2 miles. From there, you can still build back up to that 5. And my experience and the experience of so many people is, instead of the 5 that you were earlier doing, now you're down to 2 miles. After sticking with this, you'll find that you can go for even 10 miles with even lesser food. So that is when the magic becomes more and more your own truth. It is not magic only when you don't understand what it is. It is truth when you understand that natural ketosis is happening from your own liver, and your mind is that clearer, and you're entering into flow. So then it is not magic anymore, but it will be your own truth. And we discussed some Siddhar beautiful verses by Tirumular, which discusses exactly how these things work. Several thousand years ago, they have said this. But the truth is, you will find same amount of energy in the next few weeks, and then even more energy. But you need some support when you're trying this. So think if you're sleeping better or get some benefit right away, and then slowly work towards your other holistic goals. Then you may ask, if my activity level and metabolic rate goes down, won't it become harder to burn calories? Which is actually like saying, instead of being a big SUV, I'm becoming a small 4-cylinder car, which uses only 1/3 the fuel. This car is more green, it is more healthy for the planet and healthy for your heart also. So what I mean by that is when you bring your metabolic rate down and you stay at that level all lifelong, your heart is going to directly thank you for it. And the way it thanks you is the heart turning 20 years younger, just like Willie's heart has done. I hope I
Excellent.
answered
Thank
the
you.
question. Yes.
Oh, yeah. Bang on. Thank you.
Excellent. Very nice question. So let's have some more quick thoughts about today's discussion, about what we want to hear in the next weeks. People who haven't spoken so far. Joy hasn't said anything. People have to unmute yourself if you're trying to say something.
I have COVID. Can you hear me?
Oh, you have COVID, Joy?
I have it and I'm finding it really hard to breathe, let alone exercise.
Wow, you get well soon, Joy. You're going to be better
I'm
in the
not
next few days.
not eating. It's just I can't exercise right now.
No, don't. See, listen to the body. If the body is
Yeah.
telling don't exercise, don't exercise. It'll slowly get where you want it to get. But I'm so happy that you, despite not doing well, you joined us today. Thanks, Joy.
Sure.
We'll turn off the recording.